as soon as the ability to strongly politicize the Charlie Kirk murder went away, like as soon as more facts started coming about the shooter, that shit like I haven't heard fuck all from anybody on the right about Charlie Kirk since his memorial.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Look Forward. I'm your host Jay. I'm here with my co-host Brad.
I would just like to point out, for the record, Jay and I recorded an episode last Thursday. I know Jay released it yesterday, but we recorded it last Thursday, and it's now Tuesday as we're recording this episode today. And you would think with only a 4-day gap in between episode recordings that we would have like a shorter show, less important news to talk about, maybe, you know, that sort of thing. But no, there's a whole ass another fucking docket of stuff for us to get 2 hours plus of material out of today.
No, it's a litany. Some could say a cornucopia of bullshit.
We would say that.
We would say that. Yes. In fact, look, let me just give you a little inside baseball. The news today has made me very angry. I am in a fucking mood. I am in a mood outside of politics. I just had my second dose of basically Ritalin. I am ready to go. Let's fucking do this. Okay. I am. Someone by the house finally called Jay a gringo for the first time, and he didn't know how to take it. Very offended. How dare
for a variety of reasons.
Right? Yeah. Like, what does that word even mean? Is that a compliment? I can't tell you how much people double parking and not knowing how to like be in a neighborhood that they do not live in, and using a business in my neighborhood and clogging up my streets so I can't get to my office makes me very angry. Like I was like, fucking move. For the love of God, move. Anyway, big story this week. Donald Trump and Secretary of War, Pete, I don't know how to do a single push-up because I'm not a real man. Hegseth has decided...
My wife, by the way, before we get into the meat of the story, my wife calls him Timothy Oliphant, and I can't think of a better description for Pete Hegseth.
No, that feels right. Yeah. Like Sheen version of Josh Duhamel, right? Like same guy. So these two ass clowns summoned 800 generals and admirals to Virginia. We talked about this when it was announced that that's what they were doing, but this went down today, Tuesday, September 30th, in what can only be described as a waste of everyone's time and an attempt at sort of getting the military top brass to bend the knee, right?
Yeah.
To basically, I mean, it's a little overblown, but it's also very true. So Hitler kind of did the same thing.
And someone pointed out on social media, like the way that the stage was set up, like you could tell that like Pete Hegseth has watched Patton recently, and he's
look at my screen. Look at my screen.
Right, this is.
Oh, fuck, hold on. Where is it? Look at my screen. I'm already working on a background. It's
there. You go.
Fucking Patton. Exactly.
Very good. Yeah. Like he really wanted that moment for him.
Yeah, basically. He did. And look, when I saw that, it was immediately, I was like, oh, they're just TV guys. So for them, like, do they think that was actually Patton? Like, they do know it was a movie?
Yeah, that was the other thing that was incredible about this. So not only did they convene all of these generals and admirals in person to have this, you know, like like knee bending conversation with them, they streamed it out there for everyone to see,
which is wild.
Which seems like a very silly thing to do.
And so these fake tough guys is probably the nicest way I could say this. Quite literally get onto this stream in front of all of these very serious people. Okay. Let us not bury the lead here. These are 800 real generals, real admirals, not from central casting, as Trump would say. And basically like, hey, FAFO, and to that got no response. Like quite literally.
Well, not only that line, like Hegseth in particular had a ton of lines that were like made to be applause lines.
Of course.
But he didn't like realize the company that he was in, essentially, not like realizing that like professional career officers are not going to sit there and fucking fawn over you like MAGA crowds would, which is what he's, fucking used to. Yep. I would assume. So like when the crowd went mild to complete silence after these like breaks for applause, there's literally a scene, like I don't remember what he said, but there's literally a video where you can see like he says something that was supposed to be like an applause line, and he stops talking for a couple seconds, and there's dead silence, and you can see in his face where he's just like, fuck, like not realizing. And then to the point where when he was done and Trump got up there, Trump's like, oh, you guys can clap, like you guys can get excited for stuff, like it's totally cool if you want to do that. And they were just like,
no, what
are we doing here? Basically.
and apparently, let me read this thing that was sent. Longtime Pentagon reporter Helen Cooper said that she can't find any military officials who attended the meeting in Virginia with President Donald Trump and Secretary Pete Hegseth and liked what they heard. So that was reported up by Raw Story. Here's a couple of like quotes / paraphrasing of what they said. One, they were told, these generals were told to prepare for war. With who? Mm-hmm. Just
American citizens, apparently.
Yeah, well, we'll get
there. Yeah.
They're going to use American cities as, quote, training grounds for the military. That feels like a bad fucking idea. Like a real bad idea. So Hegseth said, quote, every designated combat arms role across all branches shall, quote, return to the highest male standard only. If you do not meet the male level physical standards for combat positions, it is time for a new position or a new profession. If women can make it, excellent. If not, it is what it is. If that means no women qualify for some combat jobs, so be it. Let me tell you this. I'm not in the military. I've never been in the military. I'm not planning on being in the military. If you think that the greatest military in the world has ever seen does not benefit from tough and intelligent women being in that military, you don't understand what the military might of the United States truly is. You might as well say, well, let's not also have black people in it, or Latin folks in it, or
I'm
Asian.
sure they would if they could get away with it.
I mean, I guess, but it wouldn't bode well for you. But
no.
You know what I mean? Like, you're handicapping the United States military over like red pill bullshit. Like, the guys who complain about that 9 times out of 10 are not in the military, never have been in the military. Like, we shouldn't have women in combat roles. Bro, you going? Well, I mean, not me. I mean, the Cheeto dust on my beard says that I don't have really the time to join.
Right.
Yeah. If they want to fight and they're capable of fighting, fucking go. I ain't fighting. Go. Like, what the fuck? Hey, I want to strap on some gear and run out there and, shoot an M16 or whatever it is they fucking use. Have at it, ma'am. Like, why do I need to get the fuck in your way? Like, to me, it's ridiculous. But this is like one of those things. It's like a classic American thing, is to handicap ourselves because of our own weird bigotry. Like I remember like one of the first times I came back to the United States after living here for a while. And I just remember walking around and being like, wow, like you forget how diverse America is, right? Compared to where I live, which is largely not very diverse, right? And I remember telling Micah this. I was like, that is America's superpower, and I wish like racist white people could understand that. Like, the reason that America like dominates or largely dominates in like the Olympics is because we got people from everywhere. Like, we just build a massive coalition of people, men, women, short, tall, big, little, whatever, and we just basically McDonald's everybody, right? We can beat you on scale, but more importantly, we could just make more hamburgers than you can. Like, that's just is what it is. And that diversity is the benefit. The same with the military. Like
it's the same with every industry in this country, quite frankly.
Literally.
Like the reason that we became like the technological leader in the world, all that stuff. Like you can point to diversity, bringing in the greatest minds and talent from across the world into the country. And again, like mostly right wingers don't see that because again, they have this like myth and the story that they tell themselves about, white exceptionalism and specifically white male exceptionalism is the reason that we are where we are because, they, for some reason, look back to the founding of the country when all that was allowed to be running anything was white males. They're like, well, look, it was great then and it's still great now because of the same thing. It's like, lots happened in the last 250 years. I don't know if you have paid attention to much in the way of history. Maybe you should.
And also, you were getting free labor from black people, very specific. Right. You think you could have done that with just white people? I don't think so. The American experiment wouldn't have worked. Like, it wouldn't have worked. Like, the reason the country is still rich today is because of a direct correlation behind all of the money that cotton made that was created or picked and made into clothing and everything else, or just shipped out raw all over Europe and everywhere else in the world that made America so much money. You can pretend that that's not true, but it absolutely is true. Like they had. By
the way, speaking, it's funny you bring up cotton because I was reading an article because we talked about like the soybean stuff last week, right?
Right.
And how we've been, actually, we're talking about the soybean stuff later. I'll bring up this story later on because it's more relevant in our soybean story later on.
Yeah.
So remind me. Yeah.
So he says, hey, we got to live up to the male standard. By the way, is there a pull-up standard? Because you wouldn't make it. Just as an aside. You wouldn't make it.
By the way, I didn't mention this in our chat. So yesterday, there was a clip going around of Pete Hegseth, like outside of the Fox News studio, like trying to use a skateboard, and he like ollied the skateboard up into his nuts, like live on camera, and it was very funny. And I thought someone was playing an old clip of Pete Hegseth when he was hosting like Fox and Friends on the weekend. No, that actually happened yesterday. That Pete Hegseth launched a skateboard into his testicles.
Good.
The day before giving this speech.
Good. I hope it hurt a lot. Hope it did permanent damage. He also said, without offering any evidence, that the Pentagon has lowered its standards to hit racial quotas as well. He called it the 1990 test, which compares today's standards to those of 1990. Oh, he wants to return to that, I guess. Mm-hmm. Return to the standards of those in 1990, a time when women were barred from combat roles and the LGBT plus persons were banned from serving. This is what they want to do. Yeah. Again, there's like one of the reasons we lost a bunch of translators during the Iraq War is because we found out some of them were gay. Like, you're literally destroying benefits that the military has and personnel that the military has based on, I don't like girls and gays. Mm-hmm. All right, bro, that seems really fucking weird. Again, you're from fucking TV.
Yeah.
Okay, like, it's not like you got promoted, like, I took a hill and then they saw what I did and then they promoted me to this position. Bro, you were on TV for years. Like, you're not a tough guy. You're not. I want to fight Pete Hegseth. I don't think that's wrong to say.
I think you could take him.
I know I could. I could. Like, again, and I will never stop saying this. He can't do a pull-up, okay? Like, at all. And he was doing a chin-up and couldn't do it. That's a chin-up. It's not even a real fucking pull-up. You fucking fuck off.
He also talked about how the definition of toxic had been basically inverted in his eyes, and that bullying and hazing have been weaponized and bastardized. We want to bring back hazing and bullying of troops because apparently that made troops better fighters.
Yeah, just like that one documentary, Full Metal Jacket. Like, remember how the hazing really worked out in the end of that first half of that movie? Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
All right. I mean,
he wants people to, he wants to basically like shield people from complaints filed by members of the military against them. Like, like if they're abusive or, God forbid, like sexually assault somebody, which was something that was rampant in the armed forces for a really long time. And I think still probably is to some extent. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you a terrible
for sure. Yeah. So he wants to get rid of anonymous complaints and whatever, what he defines as frivolous complaints, whatever that's fucking supposed to mean.
From women.
Right.
Let's get women and minorities about the abuse they receive because they're women or minorities
right.
Look, let me give you a horrible statistic. 33% of women have reported being sexually assaulted in the military. 33% of military women have said this. So if you're like, hey, let's push down the reporting, no thanks. How about that? That's fucking awful. And these are supposed to be best and the brightest, blah, blah, blah. That's why when people say that, I'm like, that's not true. It's just an organization. It's got some good people. It's got plenty of shitty people too. Like, don't just assume that everyone in the military is a fucking AJ squared away perfect human being. They fucking aren't. It doesn't mean they're bad by default either, by the way. He also has a no more walking on eggshells policy. He said his department would conduct a, quote, full review of the department's definition of so-called toxic leadership, bullying and hazing, like you said, to empower leaders to enforce standards without fear of retribution or second guessing. Hegseth also said that he is ordering reforms of the Pentagon Inspector General's office and both military and civilian equal opportunity offices to, quote, liberate commanders and non-commissioned officers from weaponized process that put complainers, ideologues, and poor performers in the driver's seat. Okay. The war secretary said his reforms would, quote, eliminate anonymous complaints as well. Okay, this is what you're talking about.
Yeah, which we... Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he spoke for over an hour, delivering remarks that were...
this sounds like the worst TED Talk of all time. Basically, is what I've gathered from seeing clips and hearing reporting about this.
And so Trump got up there, and he
was just the warm up act. So.
Trump got up there and talked for a fucking hour, and I've seen clips of it, and it looks exhausting. Okay, it looks fucking exhausting. He repeatedly bashes Democrats during this thing where we're supposed to be talking about like the military, right? I don't know if he knows, but like Democrats are also been in the military, and like the
military is supposed to be a nonpartisan wing of, the government. So,
I mean, come on, Brad, please. He bagged on Democrats in the free press, guaranteed in the U.S. Constitution, as this article writes, calling them sleazebags and really corrupt, saying that we are under invasion from within.
By people not wearing uniforms, which I saw our buddy Mikey on Blue Sky say, "Man, I love when shoot comments aren't made to be shoot comments." Basically, right.
Jesus Christ. He also suggested that active duty forces could be used to, quote, straighten out cities run by Democrats. That's a war too. That's a war within. Is a direct quote. He says that the dangerous cities such as Chicago should be used as training grounds for troops. And later bragged that an order he'd signed last month to direct Hegseth to establish a quick reaction force for civil disturbances would be a big thing for the assembled officers to be used against these enemies within. Quote, we have to handle it before it gets out of control. It won't get out of control once you all get involved, he said.
He also said to this room of 800 generals and admirals in the United States military that Vladimir Putin told him that America is the hottest country in the world right now. Bragging about that to, again, all of our military leaders in the room.
Amazing. I said this on TNP. We recorded it today, so it's not out yet. If you're a voter, if you're a Trump voter, or you're a military person in that room who voted for him, and you listen to what that guy just said, and you're like, wow, this is really fucked up, and I don't agree with any of this. You need to do something that I don't enjoy doing personally, But it comes a time in everyone's life that they are subjected to having to do this, which is to say, I was wrong and I shouldn't have done it, right? Because how you are in the military and you listen to this and go, yeah, no, this all makes a lot of sense, right? Like, I understand there's probably some like fucking AJ squared away guys who are like, yeah, we need to be fucking back hazing and all this other shit. But I feel like that's not a lot of generals. That might be like a lower drill sergeant.
Oh yeah, and like enlisted people, sure. Like they absolutely they would be, like I said, enlisted yeehaws would be all for that dumb shit. But yeah, like this is not the audience to be giving that. Well, so first of all, the fact that this entire like speech was given by them to this group and televised on top of it, is insane. Like we have literally never seen anything like it in our history, as far as I'm aware of.
No, I don't know.
Certainly, and certainly when the the speech from Trump was directed specifically at like, hey, like we might need you guys to get on the ground inside the country because we've got a war happening inside the country right now. Right. And if you are, we've talked on the show before, like you worry, like, because we've seen guys like Mike Flynn were in the military, right? So like you understand that there are people like that could be in positions of, of influence and power and things of that nature within the military command structure. But I would imagine that most of the people in that room, if not pretty much all of them, were probably pretty aghast at what they hear, because if there's one thing that highly ranked officers take seriously about the military, is being in the fucking military and holding themselves to the standard that's outlined in the Constitution, the document that they all swore to uphold and protect. And Trump did too, but but like I said, apparently he didn't read the fucker because he keeps wanting to, violate it at every possible turn.
Right. I put this up on some social media platforms, and I will say it here because I truly, truly believe it. This speech, and I said this to you and Andy as well. All this tells me is like, shout out to the future leaders of the resistance, or the Western forces, as it were, because there are definitely dudes in that room who are like, and women as well, right? Let's not pretend that there are no women of these high ranks. There are. That are like, okay, this is what we're talking about. I am how far away from retirement? I mean, because any of these generals, by the way, they're like, well, we'll ruin your career. No. Okay. Like, bro, I'm not a lieutenant like 2 years into this shit. Like, I've been in this shit for like 30 years, 40 years. I'm getting ready to step out. This is the last move for me before retirement. Now, sure, I would love to keep my rank and get all my retirement money, blah, 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 blah. But let's get real. People who are this deep into this shit are not people who are going to that really, truly believe it, right? That really, truly believe in the Constitution. And I don't mean because there are going to be people who are sycophants, right? Like, of course. Mm-hmm. But the ones who really know what this oath really means that they took, and they are truly take that oath as not just like, yeah, I mean, I took it, but like, the president said this. But like, if they truly were like, I do not agree with this, I will not do this order because it violates the Constitution. Those people, and I believe in that room, it is way more of those type of people than just sycophants who go along. You are going to find situations that come up where these people are going to go, I'm not going to fucking do that. Yeah, you're going to find it. And I know this because, they didn't clap or whatever, and that could be technically a sign. But when that reporter's like, I can't find anybody who's on board for this shit. And they're responding anonymously, right? They're like,
well, and then so that's the professional argument, right? Like that's the professional side of things. Also, like the personal side of things, Hegseth started his remarks by basically dragging a lot of former higher ups in the military that this Trump administration has kind of ousted, who've been critical of the Trump administration publicly after they were ousted, and called them out by name And it's like, bro, like, I don't know if you understand that, like, most of the people in this room probably have, like, a tremendous amount of respect for those dudes.
Right. You think
because they don't
fuck Millie? No way, dude.
Yeah, like because they don't look at them through the political lens that you're looking through them as. Like, again, these are guys who are, in terms of like how they view their duty in the military, they view it apolitically. Like, they don't care if it's a Democrat or Republican in charge. Like, hey, like, I've got a duty to do. I'm gonna, I've got orders handed down. I'm gonna, carry them out to the best of my ability and make sure the people under me are following, those orders as well. Like, these people take this job fucking serious, and it just goes to show you. And we talk about it all the time. Like, no one disrespects the military like Republicans disrespect the military on a daily fucking basis. And this is just like one of the most flagrant examples of it, that you're going to bring these people into this, into this session that you're going to, bark at them for 2 hours, televise the shit on fucking TV so you can look like, big, strong men in front of all the military guys, like, trying to get them to kowtow to you or whatever. And these people aren't going to be fucking down for that. And again, it just shows the lack of understanding, the lack of respect that you guys have for these people and military folks in general.
Yeah, absolutely.
Around the country.
I honestly think that you're going to find that these guys are going to say, we're going to do X. And those guys are going to be like, you in what army? Like, we're not doing it. Well, we'll fire you. Okay. All you are doing is building the fucking structure pattern for a resistance, because eventually it is going to come to a head. And that sounds like movie style or whatever, but these guys are literally talking about putting military in cities as training grounds. And look, I'm going to tell you right now, yes, it is obvious that you're going to have troops who are going to be like, hell yeah, fucking MAGA, I'm down for that shit. But the one thing that is equally true is that a lot of troops, even before you get to the president, they have immense respect for those generals and those fucking top brass people that they have more of a direct connection to. Those guys go, oh shit, General so-and-so is saying this. All right, man, like, they're right, because they respect those guys. I'm not saying they respect them more than the president, but those guys served with them. Right? Mm-hmm. Those guys are in the like direct military leadership. They know Trump isn't. They know Pete Hegseth is a dude from TV. Yeah, he's an Iraq war veteran. I'm not taking anything away from him. But like, they know those guys aren't military folks. You know what I mean? Like, to give these guys credit. So there's going to be a moment where they're like, the president is saying something that like, I can look at like the military code of justice, and I can look at it and be like, I know that that's incorrect. And my direct general or my direct leadership is saying, belay that fucking order. Do not follow that. You're going to have a lot more troops go, I'm not going to do that.
Well, and not only that, but like, because Trump has lost the fucking plot so badly, and he's basically up there rambling, giving a campaign stump speech to, again, like all of his generals and shit like that are in the armed forces, and doddering on like a fucking 80-year-old with dementia, because that's what he fucking is.
I mean, yeah.
You have guys in that room that have to be thinking in the back of their head, like, yo, if we get like an order from this dude to do a nuclear strike, right, like, we got to hit pause on that for at least a second, don't we? like if this is the guy that's, yeah, like if this is the guy that's at the wheels, like, we can't just, like, this guy's not with it. He just isn't. And it's apparent to anyone with a functioning fucking brain to see it, by the way. Like, I was talking to my wife earlier tonight about how, like, and I've said this on the show before, I just, what do people see when they see him and they hear him and they observe him that makes them think like, this guy's got it fucking together. Like, this is the dude that I want to follow into battle. Like you guys are putting us all on, right? Like you guys acknowledge that, like, he's fucking lost it, and you're just going along with the grift for fun because he's gonna deport brown people or cut your taxes or whatever the case may be, right? Like, yeah. like you don't like it. I really feel like we're all, like, all of us on the left and listening to this podcast are all have the fucking sunglasses from They Live, and everyone else is just like seeing them as normal people all the time.
What the fuck is going on?
Right.
No, you know what I think it is? They don't hear most of the things he says. They don't hear it. Like, and I don't mean like actively are not listening. They don't hear it. They watch Fox News that shows them clips of very specific things that he says. They see very specific clips online from their small little like universe that are clipped up perfectly, where he's making fun of Democrats, or they read a headline that he said, "Go fuck yourself" or whatever. That's what they see. They don't what look, these people have the attention span of fucking two bricks, rolling together, right? So,
well, and it certainly doesn't help that the media, again, the mainstream media is like sane washing everything that comes out of his fucking mouth. Like that doesn't.
But you think they sat and watched? Right? You think they sat and watched an hour long fucking fake Patton speech? No, of course not. They were like, "Oh, he's got the military there," and they see one or two clips of it, and they go, "Yeah, he got it," and they just fill in the rest. Like, I mean, that's why when you see all of those like reports where people are like, go to a Trump rally, and the people get kind of disappointed and leave early because they're like, they just want to hear the hits. They're not there to hear all that other bullshit. They turn off. They don't hear it. They're like, it's got time right now. Who gives a fuck? Just say lock her up and fucking deport them all or whatever. Like, just say the hits, man. Play Freebird. I got to get the fuck out of here. That's all they hear. So it's not that they are like faking that they don't understand, though I'm sure there is some of that for some of them. I don't think they listen to it. They just don't hear it, and they just go, it's filling in. I mean, ironically, for so long, both parties have accused, and especially the accusation comes from the right to the left, of like Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton. They're an empty suit. You just fill in whatever you want to believe about them. Donald Trump is the ultimate empty suit, right? I mean, the way his suits are cut, I mean, he's got plenty of room in there, right?
So, shockingly, considering his stature, so
he's ballooning every day. But they just fill him with whatever they think he means, right? He'll say a quote that is completely wrong, and they're like, "Yeah, but he meant X, Y, Z." Like, they just fill in, and so it's easy to become a cult member when you don't think your guy says anything wrong, because you don't really listen to what they say. I mean, how many people have been like, I'm Charlie Kirk. All right, bro. Do you want to give any quotes from Charlie Kirk? Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, they just don't know, because they saw a white guy get shot, and they were like, I'm sad about it. And they just filled in. They just filled it in. They don't know.
You're probably right, but it's not gonna drive me any less insane.
No, it should drive you completely insane. I don't understand how people back anybody they don't listen to. Like, I agree with that person. What do they say? I don't fucking know, bro. Like, that's insane to me, right? Especially like to get a tattoo of this guy or put a shit on your truck and you drive around and you have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. But they do, because they're in a cult. They don't really listen. So, look, every day I hope that final hamburger is just on its way. Like, just bring it to the table. So yeah, these two ass clowns. It'll be interesting to see what the military does, but I think you're just setting up people for the resistance. I think that's all you're doing. I think, especially that shit about like going into cities and using them as training grounds, sounds like the most like dystopian shit I've ever heard. So,
it's incredibly dystopian. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so I think you're gonna have a lot of those guys go, yeah, I don't fucking think so.
Speaking of dystopian shit, like, did you like? And this is, I guess, somewhat tangentially related. Did you hear about the Portland mayor, like her conversation about her call?
No,
with Donald Trump. So, like, you know how Trump's talking about, oh, we got to go back to Portland, like Portland's on fire, and
it's
like it's being torn down by Antifa and all this other stuff. Meanwhile, like, citizens of Portland, like, what are you talking about? Like, it's fucking great here. We have maple donuts everywhere. Like, it's fucking fantastic. Like,
you seen Portlandia? That's a documentary,
right? Like, you guys should come check it out. And so, like, he called the mayor of Portland, who like kind of like explained to him like he was a you know, an idiot grandpa, because, you know, that's fucking what he is. And she's like, yeah, he's like, oh, you know, my people tell me that, like, there's all this stuff going on and things of that nature, and I see it on TV, and, like they're saying that like Portland's on fire and this other stuff. And she's like, I think your people might not be being honest with you, because I'm telling you right now, like none of that stuff is happening here. And so maybe they might be telling you things and showing you things in such a way to make you think that that's happening. And his response is like, basically this, like the principal Skinner, like, is it me? Like, like, could I be so out of touch with this?
No, it's the liberals that are wrong. Right?
It's the liberals who are wrong.
I mean, but I do think that's a big part of it, by the way, right?
Right.
Like, he just believes whatever someone tells him. He's like, yeah, no, DC is a hellhole. Like, bitch, you live there. Open the window. Look outside.
Right.
You know, Benny Johnson's like, they're raping and stabbing people right outside my house. Why do you still live there? What the fuck are you talking about? I've seen people getting mugged in mass shootings right outside my house. You didn't report any of this? It's weird that you didn't report any.
He's reporting it to his listeners.
Yeah, it's like, call the cops, Benny. Like, it's almost as if you're full of shit. Crazy. It's wild.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the government shutdown, Brad. You think it's happening? It
literally is. So as we're recording this, a couple hours ago, they had like the last ditch vote in the Senate to try to pass the continuing resolution that would keep the current funding levels for the next 7 weeks through November 21st. And it failed by a 55-45 vote on the Senate floor. So it does seem like that there will be some level of government shutdown, because that's happening at Wednesday, or as we're recording this, it happens at midnight. So basically an hour and a half from now, the government will officially be shut down. So we're finding,
what's the difference between that in the last 8 months? Nothing. Nothing.
Oh, there'll be some difference. So Republicans are working overtime to try to blame this on Democrats, because obviously the Democrats aren't giving them the votes in the Senate that they need in order to pass this continuing resolution without getting. Basically, the Democrats' demand is for Trump and his gang to reverse the like $1.5 trillion they cut from Medicare and Social Security when they passed their tax cuts for the rich a couple months ago. They said, hey, like, we're not going to fund this unless you guys reverse that shit. So the Republicans are trying to blame Democrats for the shutdown. Here's what I would tell Republicans. And this is, and by the way, I'm remarkably consistent. You can go back and see that I gave the same advice to Democrats back in 2019 when the government was shut down. The last time, except this case is different because Democrats didn't control the entire federal government. Republicans do control the entire federal government.
Right.
At this point, you could pass this without a single Democratic vote if you wanted to. All you need to do is wipe away the filibuster for government funding, and pass whatever you want to pass. You don't need a single Democrat to vote with you. You could do it. You could do it tonight if you wanted to.
Do it, and then let everybody see just what they voted for.
Because the funny thing is that like people are portraying Democrats as like, oh, like they're being super hard line, they're shutting the government down. No, like Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries have been doing everything they possibly can for the Republicans to take yes for an answer. Like they've been going out of their way to try to do this shit, to offer like their votes for the most meager of pittances, despite the fact that like they should be holding fast because of the flagrantly illegal things that the Trump government has been doing since they took over. Like I wouldn't vote for this shit ever unless they basically started, respecting the powers of the judiciary and of the legislative branch.
Yeah, no,
which they are currently not doing.
Yeah, I would have been way harder. I mean, I think Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer have shown their asses in this. Like, yeah, like, please, can we get the government open for what? So they can do more damage to American citizens? Fuck them. Close it down. Fuck you. Get some balls and just be like, no, here's our demands. We're not moving on it. Suck my dick. Done. By the way, Republicans did not show up. Footage out right now. Republicans didn't even show up for like basically it looks like some of the debate to try to pull people over. Democrats are there. And they just
and also Mike Johnson sent the House home for a couple days because they passed their version of the CR, and he wanted the Senate to pass that version, and so he sent the House home so if the Senate passed something different, the House wouldn't be there to vote on it. House Democrats are still there. I want to point out for the record.
Yeah,
House Republicans.
I think that's what it is. I think it's the House Democrats.
Yeah, House Republicans are not. So again, and once again, like Trump being an idiot, just like he did in 2019, has come out and like, even though he's trying to blame Democrats, he's also equally said as many times like, we'll shut the government down. We'll shut the government down because it's going to hurt Democrats. It like the Democrats are the ones, like he literally said that we'll just cut it, like if they let us shut the government down, we can make additional cuts to Medicaid and Social Security because Democrats like those programs. And someone should also tell Donald Trump who else likes those programs, the people that are on them who also happen to vote for Republicans by a wide margin.
Okay, dude, that's a wild take. It's a super wild take. But again, they don't give a fuck about the citizens, Like they don't care. Like
no, they never. They never
get rid of that program. You're like, well, which one was that? Medicare. What? Do you think this is a Democrat program? You think only Democrats use this? Like, it's because they don't give a shit. Trump doesn't care. By the way, do you think Trump knows what Medicare is? I don't think he knows. Do you think he gives a fuck? I know he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't know. So, they're going to kill Social Security. You think only Democrats use Social Security? You can't possibly believe that. Like, you can't possibly believe that. Like, your whole party is old white people. They're on Social Security, bro. Like, all of them. So, it's a wild take, but sure.
And again, they're and the threat that OMB is using is like, we have, if you guys shut the government down, like we not only will we furlough stuff, but we'll just keep laying people off and firing people and cutting these positions and stuff like that. It's like, okay, do that, bro. See how popular that is with the American people, especially once the government reopens and oh shit, all of these federal functions aren't working as good as they used to because there's a personnel dearth that you guys have created. And oh shit, there's also thousands more people out of work trying to find jobs in an already challenging job market. It's just like they're basically threatening to shoot themselves in the foot, and it's just like, cool, like, I'm not going to stand in the way of you pulling the trigger. Go right ahead.
And again, this is where Democrats can actually do something smart and just go, please proceed, Governor. Like, why the fuck do we need to get in your way of you shooting yourself in the face? It makes no sense. Go ahead. It's fine. So good job. I'm glad. I'm not happy that what Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries did, but I'm glad that the government shuts down. Look, it can shut down.
I am begging.
Who gives a shit? Because
I am begging Senate Democrats and Senate and House Democrats to once this shit is done, like once we're past this vote part, and you might have to wait till the government gets reopened and whatnot. I am begging you to elect new leadership within your fucking caucus.
Yep, you need to.
I mean, Schumer's making himself look like as doddering of a senile old man as Trump is right now, which is impressive. Hakeem Jeffries got bodied by my man Chris Van Hollen today. Like, Chris Van Hollen was in New York. I can't remember what he was doing an interview for. But he was talking about the fact that, so like Hakeem Jeffries, I don't know if you guys saw, so it's on the docket, but Eric Adams dropped out of the New York mayoral race. That. Yeah. As he was polling a distant fourth behind even Curtis Sliwa, the guy who's just there. Fourth? Yes. The token Republican candidate in this. Oh my god,
the guy with the beret who loves cats. That fucking
was polling ahead of with the current mayor Eric Adams. So Eric Adams is like, yeah, I got to drop out. Of course, Eric Adams didn't drop out early enough to get his name taken off the ballot. So that's exciting. So Eric Adams somehow not running and also screwing over Andrew Cuomo at the same time. 100%. But that aside, Hakeem Jeffries, upon the announcement of this news, put out a glowing statement about Eric Adams and his career in public service and stuff like that. Meanwhile, he still can't endorse the current Democratic nominee, Zoran Mamdani, because he's afraid that if he endorses him, he will be tinged with the evil scarlet S of socialism on his suit jacket that he'll never be able to know. And Chris Van Hollen was asked about this, and Chris Van Hollen made the best point that I've heard, and I'm shocked that nobody's made this point yet, where he basically says if you as Hakeem Jeffries cannot come out and full-throatedly endorse the democratically elected Democratic nominee for the mayor's race in New York City,
in
your backyard in New York City, don't ever ask young people to come out and fucking vote for anything you guys are doing ever again. You don't have the right to ask them to fucking carry water for you, because that's the coalition that raised Mamdani up by and large. And like I said, if you're not going to support this dude, then young people have every right to say, well, fuck you guys then.
Yeah.
In that case.
I would love for him to take over leadership in the Senate for Democrats. 100%. I think
1,000%. That's my guy.
Look, shout out to Maryland. Greatest state in the union. Get the fuck out.
Only the best and brightest, except for Andy Hatter. Sorry about that. So
Yikes.
Not in my district. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, that was a bad run. That was a bad run. I like Van Hollen in the Senate, and I like AOC for the House. That's your leadership.
Oh, she's about to be a senator, so don't step in her way.
That's true. Is she gonna run for president? No, baby. She'll
run for Senate. Yeah, she's got plenty of time. She's got plenty of time.
Tons of time. And look, go to the Senate and be a fucking force. Be a goddamn force and get in there, kick some ass, and then everyone's like, all right, now's your time. Let's get this done.
It's gonna be really funny, by the way, when she officially declares her Senate candidacy, and she's going to do it before Schumer decides whether or not he's running or whether he's going to retire at the end of this term. And watch, as soon as she announces it, you're going to get the Schumer retirement announcement within 2 weeks of that happening, because he knows.
You think it's going to take 2 weeks? You think it's going to take 2 weeks? No.
Well, he doesn't want to look like he's directly folding to her. Is all. So.
It's Chuck Schumer. Folding is what he does. Okay, like laundry. I've got to go. Get out of here. No, that guy sucks. Okay, Schumer had a time where, when they were in that sort of early Trump time, him and Pelosi were fucking They were nothing away Donald Trump every other day. I mean,
take nothing away from him for what he did during the first Trump term. Yeah, he met the moment during that time. I cannot take anything away from the guy.
Now,
again, he's still one of my favorite moments of all time, where he and Pelosi were in the White House with cameras while Donald Trump was there, and basically he got Donald Trump to say, I'll own the shutdown. I'll own the shutdown. And Chuck Schumer turned to the camera and says, "Can you believe it? He just said it."
It was one of the greatest moments of all time. It's I mean, what do you want me to do? Okay, I'm just what the fuck? Because I believe that is the same exact meeting that they walked out and fucking Pelosi.
Oh, the sunglasses? Yeah.
She fucking popped the collar and shit. It was like, yeah, bitch, we won that shit. I was like, you know what? You did. You got to give them, you got to credit where credit's due. But they are not equipped for this, because that first term was a bumbling, stumbling, wannabe fascist in power. This
with serious people around him, that's the biggest difference,
right?
In the first term is that he had serious people around him that would not give in to his dumbest impulses,
right?
And kind of worked as a firewall. And to his credit, that's the lesson he learned: is I just got to get sycophants in here that are going to say yes, sir, and do whatever dumb shit I ask them to do. That's exactly what he's done this time,
right? And the people he has around him, they are sycophants, but they also have an agenda that is very deeper than his, right? Your Project 2025 guys. So these guys, Schumer and Jeffries, they're not equipped for this. They are equipped for an environment that is very much normal politics, and they can maneuver in that world and do very well. That's when you need people who can you could kind of box it out or whatever, and like you could figure out the sort of parliamentary tricks of the trade and stuff like that. Like Pelosi knows a lot of that, taught Hakeem Jeffries a lot of that, and that stuff is beneficial in non-wartime. Wartime. You need people who are going to go out there and kick people in the fucking teeth, so to speak. Maybe even literally. I would be fine with it. Kick people in the teeth in this shit. And Pelosi, Hakeem Jeffries, and Schumer are not built for that. Chris Holland, AOC, these are the type of people who are built for this shit because they have come up in a time in politics where they're like, these motherfuckers ain't your friends? Get the fuck out of here. What are we talking about? Fight them. And then you go, yeah, that's what you should be saying. And that's who you want up in the front of the line. You don't want people who are mealy-mouthed about this shit. You want people to go on TV and be like, what they just said to you is a goddamn lie, and here's why. And, oh, are you going to negotiate with them? I don't negotiate with terrorists. Next question. Like, that's the type of people I want. And it's like, oh, but that makes politics really hard and hardline and everything else. I'm sorry, what the fuck are you think is going on now? Their goal is to gum up the works and try to save the democracy as much as they can until they can hopefully get into power in 2028 fully and try to right this ship that is already sinking. Okay, you're not going to be able to just turn it around and suddenly everything is good. You got to stop the bleeding for those 2 years, and then for the next 4 to 8 years, you really got to start repairing the fucking ship and hopefully not let the country fall into to the abyss. That's basically their job. But you need people who are uncompromising. And Schumer and Jeffries are compromising. It doesn't make them bad dudes. It just means you're not right for the time. You can't meet the moment.
Nope.
You just can't.
Speaking of Project 2025, guys, another exciting development from this whole fucking government shutdown thing. So today, OMB mandated emails that went out to different federal agencies. And they also mandated that, like, you cannot change any of the language in this email. Like, you just have to basically copy paste and send this out to all of your employees. Which basically blames the government shutdown fully on the Democratic Party. Effectively is what this does. Also, like, if you go to the HUD website right now, there's a big fucking banner on the top of the page that says, and I'm quoting here, the radical left are going to shut down the government and inflict massive pain on the American people unless they get their $1.5 trillion wish list of demands. The Trump administration wants to keep the government open for the American people. So, I don't know if you know, Jay, there's this little law called the Hatch Act that we passed a real long time ago that nobody ever enforces ever for anything. Despite the fact that stuff like this, using political language in federal department communication is a gross violation of it.
It feels wrong.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man? All right, cool. What?
You'll be shocked to learn that, like, federal employees are not, like, getting fooled by this bullshit. Like a lot of people are commenting on the record, basically, saying, like, yeah, like, it's pretty shitty the way that they treat us. Like, we don't understand what's going on. Like, do you think we're stupid? Like, do you think we don't pay attention to the news? Do you think, we're not paying attention to stuff? I
mean, the answer is, yeah, they hope you're stupid. Like, they do. Like, quite literally, they hope that you are very, very dumb. And you're not, but that's what they're banking on. Yeah, just banking on your idiocy. Brad, I don't know. I don't follow the news very tightly. Has there been another big event with, like, a Goldberg style entrance of the president and the victims of this new mass shooting that happened in Michigan at this Mormon church? I hadn't heard anything.
No, I haven't seen any memorials. Haven't really heard anyone from the White House or anywhere else in Republican politics or Republican media, for that matter, talk about this event very much, which is odd because I was under the impression that they were very serious and concerned about political violence and domestic terrorism.
Yeah, and you would think from an administration that's really against anti-Semitism, the idea of a church being burned down of a different religion would also bother them. But it's almost like,
especially when that religion is a denomination of Christianity, as well. I'll point out, once again, there has been political violence enacted against Christians just for being Christian, which seems like something this administration and this Republican Party would be very concerned about.
Yeah,
but I haven't heard much. I will say I did see JD Vance on the day that this happened comment on social media about how terrible it was, and we should all be praying for everyone in like all the members of the church and all the families and whatnot. Which praying, not my bag, as we've firmly established on the show. Me and Jay not really avid prayers, but if that's how you need to profess your go with God, as you would say, in such a situation. But that's all JD Vance had to say. There wasn't any like screeching or raving screeds about certain political terrorism and violence coming from a specific group of the country. And like that's all he said. He just had like a little quote about it, and then he kept it moving.
And look, obviously, what happened in this Michigan shooting is what I would argue is like nightmare fuel. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, for real. Like, this is what drives me crazy isn't the hypocrisy from the right pretending they really super care about political violence or they super care about mass shootings and everything else. That's not what bothers me. What bothers me is that this is the type of shit that happens that feels like an accelerant, for lack of a better term, in how these are performed. So without getting into too much like hyper detail or what have you, this guy, Thomas Jacob Sanford, he was killed by the cops, by the way. Good. This guy drove his truck with fucking American flags planted in the back of him, 2 American flags, I guess the party, and drove it through the front door of this church. Apparently recently, this is a Mormon church, recently like a pastor had died. Like a major pastor had like passed away. So they were having like a big celebration. So there was more people in the church probably than normal for that time of day, right? In celebration of this person who passed. This lunatic drives his truck through the front door, gets out of his truck, opens fire with, some sort of, machine gun type of shit. Shoots a bunch of people, kills, I think 4 people or kills like 2 people in the gunfire, then throws an incendiary device that creates a fire and it lights the entire church on fire and burns it down. People died in the fire as well. Right? 4 people died in total, 8 people were injured. This sounds like, it literally sounds like something out of a movie, like terrorist act out of a movie or television series. And I'm not saying this like as a joke. This is really fucking scary shit. But for that to not get any response from the White House or from all of these right-wing groups talking about, hey man, this is really fucking scary. Holy shit, we got to come together about this. These people were killed in a place of worship. And I understand when the right wing doesn't give a shit about that when it happened to 9 black folks in a black church in, I believe it was like
South Carolina,
right? I understand when they don't care about that because racism. But these are your own people and you still don't care. And I guess maybe because they're Mormon you don't care, but white people getting shot in church is a pretty fucking bad situation, man. But you still won't deal with it. You still will not deal with radicalized white men who do the vast majority of these shootings. You still will not deal with it. By the way, authentic pictures put out by that guy. That dude had like Trump 2020 shirts on and shit like that. He is a Trump guy. You can pretend that he isn't. You can pretend, he was addicted to drugs.
Oh, they didn't even bother going down that path this time. I think they knew from Jump Street that was a fruitless endeavor.
But that's how you know they know.
Right.
That's how you know they know. And because I can tell you, it was legitimately hard to find people talking about this outside of the day it happened. That's what I'm talking about it. But I mean, I'm not, and that's not to downplay what happened to Charlie Kirk. Kirk is a name, right? So I understand why it would get more attention, but the level of attention that it got comparative to these innocent people in a Mormon church during worship being killed like this gets no attention. I'm not saying it should get all the same level of attention for 7 days. We should be talking about it, though I wouldn't mind it because at least you're acknowledging that these innocent people were killed. And they did nothing wrong. They didn't have anything to say. They don't have any negative backgrounds. There's just people going to church. I would prefer that you talk about this. But to put all of your eggs and all of your celebratory fucking horseshit into the Charlie Kirk basket and not deal with these people who were killed in a savage, brutal way is fucking ridiculous to me. Kirk didn't.
Well, but we all know why that is. It literally is because they can't politicize it.
That's it.
That's why.
They just don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about
right. And it's just, I mean, they never did give a fuck. I mean, again, we talked about it last week. It remains true. As soon as the ability to strongly politicize the Charlie Kirk murder went away, like as soon as more facts started coming about the shooter, that shit like I haven't heard fuck all from anybody on the right about Charlie Kirk since his memorial, which was a week and a half ago.
Nope. I told you last week we recorded. Yeah. The second that information came out that like maybe he didn't get shot from the front, maybe he got shot from the back, silence, nothing, and you won't hear anything.
Yep,
you won't hear anything.
So again, like as we've detailed on the show, we've been talking about it now for 3 fucking episodes. The right wing only cares about violence, only cares about about tragedies like this when they can politicize the attacker and blame liberals somehow, even when it's not true that like that liberals carry out attack.
Especially
that's all they care about it. And like I'm happy enough to know, that you and I like obviously like we can't talk about every instance of mass violence in this country because there's way too fucking many, and it's all we talk about on the show if we did, right. which is a statement unto itself. But trust me, if a left winger walked into like the fucking, I don't know, like the RNC and murdered a bunch of people, we would be talking about it on this podcast.
Of fucking course. When the guy
and we wouldn't shy away from the facts at hand, and we wouldn't sit there and try to do like you have this article from NBC News about the perpetrator in this crime. We wouldn't do the bullshit that this article is doing. Well, I can't believe that this white man like he had all these problems, but I just can't believe that he would do something. This isn't who this person is, and this, that, or the other thing. Like, man, I wish that a shred of of this was given to any person of color who perpetrates these fucking attacks. I don't actually wish it because like when people do stuff like this, I don't think you need to go out of your way to find any redeeming qualities about them. Like I think that there are certain acts that you can commit in life that basically can be your the thing that defines you.
Right. It's like
in death. Yeah. like yeah, cool. Like I don't really care like what tragedies you befall. Like that doesn't give you the right to kill 4 people, injure 8 others, including children, and burn down a fucking church to the ground. Like, sorry, like that's the only relevant thing that you did in your life that I'm going to give 2 shits about.
Exactly. I had a sad. Who cares?
Right. So like I said, if you have my guarantee that if we have some truly left-wing active mass violence against right-wingers, Jay and I will come down here and beat the shit out of that person too, and not try to rehabilitate their image anyway. We will call balls and strikes because that's what we fucking do on the show, because that is the right thing to do, because the violence is the problem. The other factors around that are just ancillary.
Right. Well, and what benefit do I get from defending or obfuscating left-wing violence? I don't think that everyone on the left is 100% correct about everything, because I'm not in a fucking cult. I can agree with someone politically and be like, oh, you want to like burn down churches because you don't agree with religion? Yeah, I don't agree with that. Like, I don't have to be like, well, let's see what the person thinks. I've just, boom, done, line right there. I do not agree with that. Hey, they went and shut up a school. Are you cool with that? No. Hey, denounce this person. Okay, I denounce it. Like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah, you don't have to twist my arm.
I like, okay, denounce this guy. Well, I mean, is he really on the right? Yeah, he's on the right. Well, I mean, how do we know he didn't wear that shirt secretly 4 years ago to trick us into? No, you don't have to do all that. That guy's bad. That guy was on our side. He's not doing the things that we agree with. I think that guy sucks. End of story. Like, it takes nothing from you to be honest about a person's actions that is doing something, even if it's in the name of a thing that you agree with. You can be like, I think it's a twisted thing. You could just say that.
As we learned today, the right wing is apparently such a big tent party. Ted Cruz wants us to stop attacking pedophiles.
Oh, he said that. Like, that's true. Like, I know people are going to hear that quote and they're going to be like, he didn't mean to say pedophiles. But if you watch the context of that quote, he did, though. Like, he literally said, we should not, or to paraphrase him, we should stop
murders from happening. We should stop rapes from happening. Yeah.
We should stop murders from happening. We should stop rapes from happening. And we should stop attacking pedophiles. So he was equating attacking pedophiles with stopping murders from happening, which is a very weird thing to say. But it's not that weird when you realize that Ted Cruz is like a poo from that scene in The Simpsons, diving in front of a pedophilic Homer Simpson, Donald Trump analog to take the hit for him, because that's what he does.
I think between them going to the mat to keep the Epstein files from coming out, I think it's fair to say that the Republican, like if you are a pedophile, you can feel safe in the Republican Party. They have your back.
Yeah. And maybe
Republicans love pedophiles, is what I'm saying.
Name of the show. You got it. Name of the episode. What? Oh, will I get banned on YouTube? Let's try it.
It probably would.
Republicans.
No, you're working on your Patton image for the show. I'm sure you can make the title somewhere around like Patton themed, like fucking Great Value Patton could be like the episode title or something like that.
I know, but that title is really good, Brad. Republicans love. My Republicans love pedophile shirt is answering more questions than it's asking.
Yeah.
So
maybe what we'll do is we'll have like a safe for YouTube title on the show, but then in the Discord we'll tell everyone, by the way, the actual episode title is Republicans Love Pedophiles.
Every episode has a secret subtitle. Speaking of Epstein, speaking of Republicans' favorite person,
dude, come on! Like, you thought that was? You think this is a coincidence? I'm a professional.
You're a professional. You teed it up. It was perfect. Democrats released more info about the Epstein files. I think we talked about this a little bit last week, which was like Elon Musk is on the list.
Yeah,
Thiel is on the list, and I forget who the other person was.
And Elon Musk, very like doth protest too much in the wake of this news.
I bet he fucking did. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, bro. You're in the Epstein files. Fuck. How do you know that?
I like how his like response was like I was invited to go to the island, but I didn't go to the island, and I would have never gone to the island. And it's like, but why wouldn't you have, Elon? Did you maybe know what was happening?
That's a bad argument, dude. That's a bad argument. I would have never gone to the island.
Did you know what was going on? Well, if you did, why didn't you say something?
Yeah, like why would you just let a island of pedophilia just continue going unabated?
Right.
Like, why would you do that? Like, Elon, hello. Incidentally, I rewatched before we get into this story more about the Epstein file, which is really fascinating. I rewatched the Social Network this past weekend.
Okay.
I hadn't seen it since the very first time I saw it when it was released. That's a good movie, by the way. Like, it's a very, very good movie.
I mean, when is David Fincher missed is my question.
Look, you thought David Fincher was going to miss with that movie with Michael Fassbender. You were proven wrong, sir. That movie was very good.
I was wrong. I'm willing to admit it's fine. What movie was that again? I can't even remember.
Fuck. It's like The Sniper or something like that.
The Snowman?
No, not that movie. Holy shit. The Snowman is a terrible movie. That's no one's fault. That character's name was Harry Hole. That is really unfortunate. It's based on the book. Why you would name the characters that, I do not know. But no, The Social Network is interesting because they're making a sequel to it, apparently.
Is the sequel going to be about how like Mark Zuckerberg is arguably the lamest human being on planet Earth?
It should be. Like I feel like
did you see Mark Zuckerberg's terrible John Wick Halloween costume?
I did.
That went viral on social media.
I was like, you have all the money in the world. This is the best thing you could do. Like, come on, man. Like, hire a makeup artist. Get a better wig. Where is this from? Spirit Halloween? Jesus Christ. You look terrible. Call Heidi Klum. She does like the best Halloween costumes for a rich person. Yeah. They're amazing.
Is social network about how like Mark Zuckerberg continues to just light money on fire with failed projects at Facebook, but no one can do anything about it because he still owns the company? Like, is that what it's about?
It very well might be. But I was thinking, so Sorkin is writing it again. He's directing, which will be interesting. I wish they could get Fincher back. But I would love, when I was watching it, all I could think of is, I would love a version of this movie about Musk. I want somebody to really dig into the type of piece of shit he is. Because that movie, whether you like Mark Zuckerberg or not, and you're listening to the show, so that's not true. You don't, because you're informed. He's a fascinating character, right? Like he just, as a person, he's fascinating because he has no like human abilities, right? Like he just doesn't know how to interact with human beings at all. And Jesse Eisenberg did an amazing job in that role. But I'd love to see someone take on Musk like that because he has a lot of legend around him, but there's so much about that guy that is just weird and off, and weird. So like, I would love to see something about him. But getting back to this, and look, if you haven't watched The Social Network in a long time, go back and watch it. It's on HBO Max. You should watch it. It's very good. It's better than you remember. How about that? It's even better than you remember. I really hated him by the end of that movie. I was like, this guy. So, okay, the Epstein files, they released a little bit more information. That's all fine and good. However, the big boy vote on the Epstein files, that one is being held up because Republicans are refusing to swear in a new Democrat who would be the vote, the 218th vote.
The deciding vote, yeah.
The deciding vote that would basically demand the vote go to the floor, right? So what they're doing is they refuse to put in the new representative-elect, Adelita Gravala, who is the daughter of her father, Raul Gravala, and he is like, he passed, and so she took his seat. But they won't put her in because the very first thing she says she's do is like, the second I get in, I'm voting for the Epstein files shit. And they were like, oh, hell no, you never getting into fucking Congress. Get the fuck out of here. And so they should have put her in. They should have sworn her in days ago. And they're like, we're going to wait. We're so busy, blah, blah. And like, so Mike Johnson is making all these bullshit ass excuses. And so now he's like, she'll be sworn in when we start the new session of Congress, right?
Which is in fucking
days.
Yeah.
It's like next Monday or some shit. Like, bro, just swear in and just get this shit over with. So that is going to happen, which is interesting. The regular session is scheduled for October 7th. Okay, hell of a date. So that's next Tuesday, literally exactly 1 week from today.
Maybe that's why he's waiting it out, because I'm sure they're going to have. I'm sure they'll be doing some, let's remember Israel and all that bullshit. So
yeah, I'm sure that'll go over well with the general American public. You're only putting Israel in danger, guys. So there's that part of it, right? But then there's another aspect of it, which is, as I put it in the docket, Marjorie Taylor-Greene might be the most interesting congressperson involved in all of this. And look, I hate Marjorie Taylor-Greene. I think she is a buffoon. I think it is amazing that she is able to walk upright without dragging her knuckles on the ground. I have many, many things negative to say about Marjorie Taylor-Greene, but the show can't go on forever. And so I am not a fan, obviously, but I will give her credit that she is sticking to her guns so far. She is sticking to her guns. Her, Massey, and Lauren Boebert are like, we're all in. We're signing on to this shit. We get one more person. This shit is happening. They're the only 3 Republicans doing it. And Marjorie Taylor-Greene in this article says that like she's getting harassed from the White House. And they're just like, hey, you need to change your vote on this, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yo, I just tell them, fuck you. The quote, that's what she said. So she says, yeah, me personally, I don't care. Like, I get those tactics from the White House. Fuck them.
Here's a shocking comment that I would never have expected to hear from her. Quote, I told them, you didn't get me elected. I do not work for you. I work for my district. Yeah, what? we're in the bizarro land. Holy shit.
Marjorie Taylor-Greene, welcome to the resistance. I don't know what is going on, right? Like, I love it. Look, the one thing you can say about some people is some people have a topic that they are unbreakable on.
Yeah.
And to her credit, women being abused is an unbreakable topic to her. She refuses to back off of this. And you know what? You can hate her. You're allowed to. Hello, I'm a card-carrying member. Like,
yeah, I still will for all of the other. Yeah, I still will for all of the other things.
100%.
Sure.
Like when this is over, like we going back to fighting. Like it is what it is. But in this, you have to give her credit because it does take a different type of person to stand up against your party when it's only you, Massey, and Boebert. Right? They've already, largely blown Lauren Boebert off as just some dumb chick who jerks people off at Beetlejuice performances. Like she's not taken seriously by any means. Massey's on his way out, right? Mm-hmm. So they don't give a shit about him. Ultimately, they know why he's suddenly has all this, kind of liquid courage. But you're sticking around, and you are an avid supporter of the president. I got to tell you, what that tells me is one of two things. Either Donald Trump is not in the Epstein files, which we know is not true, or she hasn't seen the Epstein files, which I think is true. And that to me means that she is going out on that limb and she is like, she probably believes in her fucking heart of hearts that motherfucker ain't in it. I believe there's probably a part of her that's like, nah, like he might be mentioned, but like he ain't in it. And if they get that vote and that shit comes out, I want the cameras at C-SPAN to go right to Marjorie Taylor-Greene's face and be like, reaction. Because what do you say when the guy you supported and you fucking pull that piece of paper up and it's like, and did X, Y, Z, and you're like, oh, what have I done? Do you stick to him and be like, it is what it is? Or do you go, I think this is made up by the Democrats? Like, time will tell because I don't honestly know what that reaction will be. But I don't think she's seen those files. I can't imagine she has. I can't imagine. I hope, but like there's part of me though that hopes she has seen them. And it's like, I'm doubling down. Like that would be remarkable. I'd be like, oh shit. Like this person has a moral center that's not made of just nougat. Like she actually
on one topic. I must
100%.
express like on this one specific thing.
What I'm saying is she should be the leader of the Democrats in the House. That's what I'm saying. But I do think she should get a lot of credit for this. I think she should. And look, sometimes, much like you treat like dogs and kids, reward them for the things you want them to do right. And you chastise them and you beat them. Don't do that to your kids or your dogs. When they do things that you disagree with, right? So I think people should be like, yo, Marjorie Taylor-Greene, fucking shout out to you. This is fucking dope shit, right? Good. That's the right thing. And then when she's like, and I think we need to have fucking transgender people be locked up in prisons. All right, back in your hole. Get the fuck out. Right? Like, we're done talking to you. But I do think this is a big deal. I really do. So, yep. But also at the same time, shout out to her. Nancy Mace is a piece of shit. Nancy Mace, who has been a massive advocate because she was sexually assaulted. She was raped. And she talks about that pretty openly and how horrified she was when she talked to those women and came out of that meeting crying and sniveling and all that other shit. She's not voting for this. That's how you know that is a person with no fucking human convictions. Because in a topic that is so deeply centered in who she is and what changed in her and fucked her up in ways that she will talk about openly and without seemingly much like regard for like whether it makes you uncomfortable, she won't sign on to release that. That's the type of person she is.
Yeah.
And I hate to say this, Marjorie Taylor-Greene, a better person than Nancy Mace, I guess. I guess. I thought they were both.
I mean, I think we already have established that Nancy Mace is definitely like number one ranked in the biggest pieces of shit in the Republican caucus right now.
She took over for Marjorie Taylor-Greene. She did. She did. Like Marjorie was fucking like drafted, number one seed. But like Nancy Mace is like, nah, fuck this. Check it out. Look how badass I am. Like, I'm gonna fucking come in and take this shit. So, I think it's fascinating. I hope they get to 218 on Monday or whatever, and I can't wait to see. Like, you really gonna throw it down? You really gonna vote for it? Because talking about voting for it is one thing. Hitting that fucking button is a different story. It's a different story. So, all right, pull your knuckles off the ground and get in there. Fast corruption and faster screw ups. Agriculture Secretary knows soybean situation is horrible. This is fucking hilarious.
It is.
We talked about this story last week about how basically America is not selling its soybeans to China because China was like, hey, we're not buying your soybeans because of the tariffs.
Because you're fucking concerned with the tariffs, yep.
Right. So they normally buy 25% of the soybeans from the United States, which is that all of the soybeans that America grows, they buy 25% of it. They're not buying any of it. They have not bought a single bit of edamame at all. And so America's farmers are like, help us, White House. And Donald Trump is like, new phone, who dis? Like, I don't give a shit.
Oh no, he's been saying to check the tariff shelf is the new thing he's been saying.
Check the tariff shelf?
Check the tariff shelf, whatever the fuck that's supposed to be. I guess he thinks there's like a shelf in the treasury where like all the tariff money is being stacked.
Okay. Well, okay. Is there a soybean shelf? Because it is empty. Also, they're not getting that tariff money. Like, that's not how that works. So at the same time, the federal government is bailing out Argentina because they decided to put in a libertarian president, and he has run the country into the fucking ground. Shocking news. And so,
in record time. Kudos to him. Yeah.
So the United States gave Argentina like $20 billion. By the way, previously they gave Argentina $42 billion, and they burned through that in 3 months. So best of luck with this $20 billion. Good luck.
Shit.
They're fucked. And so we give them like $20 billion. And what Argentina does is like, ooh, thanks. Thanks for the help. We appreciate it. We love you, America. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our tax off of our soybeans so that we can sell them now that we are like we're afloat a little bit thanks to the $20 billion you gave. Mm-hmm. Well, they took the tax off, and China was like, we're going to buy your soybeans. And they were like, okay, cool. And so they sold a shit ton of soybeans to China. And meanwhile, because they did that, the price of soybeans dropped lower. And so thus further undercutting American soybean growers. And so not only is China not buying them, but now Argentina has an even lower price than the United States has. So probably other countries are also buying from Argentina, right? Helping to, boost their sales. Meanwhile, American farmers are suffering. Now, so that's all that we talked about last week. We're not the only ones who noticed this. Apparently, the current agriculture secretary, Secretary Brooke Rollins, she texted Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and was like, quote, just a heads up, I'm getting more intel, but this is highly unfortunate. We bailed out Argentina yesterday, and in return, the Argentines removed. Argentinians?
Argentines.
Should it be Argentinians?
No. Argentines is okay, I think.
All right, I'm skeptical at best on that. Okay, the Argentines removed their export tariff on grains, reducing their price, and they sold a bunch of soybeans to China at a time when we would normally be selling to China. Soy prices dropping further because of it. This gives China more leverage on us. Yeah, this is the agriculture secretary going, oh no.
And the best part is she also sent Besson a link from someone commenting on the fact, like on a post of somebody like of China buying the soybeans, and the post said, and she sent this to Scott Besson, quote, China and Argentina work together for soybeans as Besson offers to subsidize the Argentine economy. They think you are stupid. Good morning.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the reason that we know this, is because while Scott Besson was at the UN, listening to his boss, Donald Trump, like mafia style threaten every other country in the fucking world, essentially, with his rambling speech, to like the UN, Congress. Scott Besson was holding his iPhone in such a way that it was very easy for people behind him, just like snap an image of what's on his screen. Because, this administration is fantastic when it comes to keeping private conversations private, as we've seen.
Oh, their SecOps game is on fleek.
Yeah,
the term.
Yeah, we're clean OPSEC. So this reminds me of the story that I want to tell you. I learned a little something today.
Brad learned about the cotton gin guys in school today.
Well, not the cotton gin guys, but it is related to cotton. So back in the day, back when, as Jay mentioned, American Southerners were getting a shitload of free labor because they were enslaving black people. America was like the number one cotton producer in the world. We were exporting cotton all over the place. And so what happened before the Civil War, or as the Civil War was gearing up, Southerners stopped shipping cotton to England because their kind of thought process was, we're going to starve England of cotton and we will get them to help aid in our war effort against the Northerners with the British troops to get the cotton stuff because they need our cotton. So we have to go back to them. And what happened in the interim is that Egypt saw that this happened. Egypt had like a very fledgling cotton industry, and Egypt said, we have an opportunity here. Let's fucking put a shitload of effort into growing cotton in Egypt. And all of a sudden, when America went back to the British and was like, hey, like, we got all this cotton for you, the UK was like, we're good, brother. Egypt's got us. He just got our back. And it completely destroyed the American cotton industry. And that's how we get Egyptian cotton today, because the U.S. basically, the South gave up their cotton monopoly in the world to try to outsmart the British. And another country just fucking swooped in underneath of it and completely crippled the U.S. industry with a fantastic own goal on our part from the South.
Yeah, you gambled and lost.
Yeah,
they're going to need us. Yeah, it turns out not really.
So if you're wondering, if what's happening with soybeans is unprecedented, the answer is no. We have fucked ourselves in the past as well by completely crippling industries that we used to dominate because we were doing very stupid things in international relations.
All right, there you go. Oh, buddy, you know what? That makes sense. I forgot to link this, but Sundowning Grandpa thinks that he approved medbeds. Look, if you're wondering what the fuck is a medbed, Jay and Brad, the answer is it is a conspiracy theory that the government has these magical beds. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. They have
this is from the movie Elysium.
Yeah. That's right. So these medbeds, you like these sort of magical or super science, but these people don't believe in science, so that's weird. These beds, they can cure anything. So it's like, oh, I've got cancer
immediately.
Yeah.
Like the way it works in the movie, and I'm assuming they think it works the same way in real life, is that like you lay in the bed like scans you like an MRI machine. It identifies like if you have like a fucking brain tumor, right? Like it'll say, oh, there's a brain tumor. And then it'll like laser out the brain tumor non-invasively and somehow you're cured.
Yeah. I mean,
like cancer, like any life-threatening terminal illnesses, like all that stuff can just be zapped away in the blink of an eye.
I mean, I don't understand why people think this doesn't exist, this technology.
Now here's the thing that you are underselling about this. So the video in question that Trump shared was an AI video of him talking about the medbeds. So Donald Trump
on Fox News.
On Fox News.
Fox News thing.
So Donald Trump shared a fake video of something that he allegedly said, to share that with all of his followers, not realizing that, I didn't actually say that because it was an AI because it was an AI doctored video. Bro, we are so cooked. We are so fucking cooked, man.
I think the idea of sharing out a video of you saying something that you never said is the most how can I describe it? It's like it's one of the weirdest. That's got to be one of the weirdest things of like, yeah, like I'm nailing this. Like, bro, you are not nailing this.
Like someone alerted him to it, and the post got taken down.
Yeah. Like, did you?
Which by the way, as an aside, apparently when a post goes away from Truth Social, the message that's left behind is "This truth no longer exists," which is just a funny, funny commentary on the times.
Yeah,
a cool meta commentary. So
yeah, medbeds, guys. Like you said, the total conspiracy theory from Elysium. These people, right. And like that has been a long-standing QAnon conspiracy, is that they have medbeds, and who's using these medbeds, by the
way. The elites, of course,
but they die. Like they die.
Well, you have to die eventually just to keep up appearances. But like you make it to 90. Yeah, you make it to 90, and you're good. Or maybe they also think that they have like some sort of like consciousness, like transporting technology as well, that they can upload their consciousness into another person to continue onward. And again, medbeds. And again, the president of the United States tweeted out a fake video of him saying something that he didn't actually say.
Yeah. And we're all supposed to act like this guy isn't deserving of a bed at the local old folks home. But okay, sure.
Yeah, well, like we'll put him in a med bed, but the ones we actually have that currently exist. So.
Yeah, that have fucking handcuffs on the side of them. Just
right.
Old crazy ass to it. Okay, that's the end of the free portion for this week's episode of Look Forward. Make sure you go to lookforwardshow.com/premium. Sign up for premium content. It's only $5 a month or $50 for the full year.